Hey woodturners, I'm Captain Eddie. Welcome to my shop. Got a little quick one for you this morning, but it's an exercise that you should get into. Let's say you've got your drive center, here's my stibe center, or a drill chuck, or anything else stuck in your headstock, number 2 Morse taper. How do you get it out? Well, don't hit on this end. Use your knockout bar and hit on the other end. Now, with a one-way, you have to order a knockout bar when you buy the lathe. With your mini jet, it's right next to the headstock in a little pocket. On your Delta, they just give it to you in a box, and you tend to get lost after a while. But you need a new one? Well, like me, you may want to make your own and personalize it. I mean, let's take, for instance, this is my belt cover for my one-way. A couple of years ago, I personalized it. I went over to Latezilla and put a little ornamentation on his bronze cap. Why? Well, because it's mine. Same thing with my knockout bar. The knockout bars from my other lathes all have my own caps on them. And they're all made out of corian or one of the other plastic products. So, a friend of mine, one of my students, doesn't have a knockout bar for his lathe. And we were talking about it the other day, and I said, why don't we just make one? It's a good practice exercise. So I got some 3/8 inch rod, just standard rod, and I got a couple of samples of corian, and I glued them together with super glue yesterday. Then I bored a 3/8 hole down them, took the bar, Marylandized it a little bit, which means put some divots and stuff that would hold on to the 15-minute epoxy, and I glued it up yesterday. Now I've got a rod, the glue, it's all set. Now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to use my spigot jaws because they drop down to about a 3/8 inch grab. And because it's the same size as my head, I can pass it all the way through. If I check over here, it came out. That's important to note. It's got to come out. It's got to be long enough. Still a millimeter too short and won't work. And then I tighten up my spigot jaws. Now, if you might want to note that I have a little something I got to get a close up on to show you. I brought you up this close to show you that I have the bar sticking a little bit proud of the face of the corian. Why? Because if I get something really stuck and I don't get enough force using it like a slide hammer, I can tap on that piece to knock something stuck in the headstock out. If it was capped all the way through and had plastic, I would crack it when I hit on the plastic. Just want to let you know, I read about that. It didn't happen to me. Now, let's turn this thing. If you don't have one of my carbide cutter rigs, don't worry about it. Get out your roughing gouge. Lay it over and read the bevel. Cut that corian just as well. Start from a flat spot so you don't have to reinitiate it every time. And you can also use it to bring some of the shape down. I'm going to try to make this sort of like a knob you would grab. So I switch over to my Ellsworth and I'll move you to a better spot. Okay? I have the speed up around 2,000 RPMs. Then I go around. Remember, if the cut's too heavy, I'm just going to step out and walk around it. think it might be a little loose. Let's check it. The wobble comes because I have the bar sticking out the back end and it's not being supported. So here's a tip. Put a little something back there to fill that gap so it doesn't wobble too bad. These are all straight. They won't be as nice as the cut. But I'm going to do a few uphills and then I'll come around and clean it all up. That's close enough for now, and that really does feel good back there. Up here, I'm a little bit out of round, so I'm going to clean it up a little. Then I'm going to move my tailstock and clean up this. Let's use the Ellsworth. And don't cut the steel with the steel. When I get that close, I would chase with this and scrape a little bit. I pulled it out a little bit so I can go back here and clean up this knot. A little bump I left. Oop. There we are. And get off the glue right down in here. Turn speed down, sand a little bit, and polish. When sanding corian, best way to go about it, put a little water on it. Helps with the dust, helps keep the paper cool and clean, and doesn't hurt anything really. This is a little bit of a cheap metal polish I found at the auto parts store. Works really good for buffing up some plastics and corian and all. I've had it, I know a long time. I sold my Harley 4 years ago or 5 years ago, And I was polishing up some parts on the Harley with it, so it dries out. And I have to add water and shake the heck out of it. But as long as I have it and it does good for this, I'm alright with all that. And this is a utility piece. There you have it. Take it back to the buffer and buff it up a little bit. But it's a knockout rod. And I have to say so myself, it's a real knockout. So if you don't have one for your lathe, make one. If you do have one, personalize your own. Just takes a few minutes, some shop scraps, and a little bit of practice. And practice is what it's all about. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I've been making shavings. Hope to see you back in the shop real soon. Take care now. Oh, by the way, if you need me for anything, here's the email address. Just drop me a note and let me know what I can do for you. And if you're looking to get any of my cutters, bars, the bearing, any of those other parts, stare at my website. It's here. And the website will find me too. Everything says Eddie Castellan, because that's who I am. Take care now. See you later. Knockout. Ooh, ooh. Boy, if George doesn't listen, hey George, not that kind of grind. That'll work. Or Mardi Gras. You know, I could get on my own float. Yeah, right. See you later.